Hey, Kaga, back again. And today we're just gonna discuss game protections against pirating, in particular Denuvo. As you can see, I have an example open up that says the stories are true, the pirate versions of Resident Evil Village improves performance. And that is because the pirate versions do not include the Denuvo. The Denuvo company has said that the issues are overly exaggerated and stuff, but in all honesty, there is way too many examples out there that are saying that they are like this and they are like that. It's like for example, Resident Evil. Over here, I have Devil May Cry open up that has performance boost by removing Denuvo. And it also says under the title, Denuvo was set to reduce performance by up to 20 frames per second. It's like you have all these articles with evidence saying Denuvo does impact gaming for PC in a negative way, yet they want to claim that it is not, because then it's gonna hurt their bottom line. I'm not saying in general that the protection against pirating is something that's not needed. Of course it is. There's way too many people who would choose otherwise to just get the pirated one. But Denuvo, with Denuvo, you're basically choosing to put the protection. It will work. It will be at some point cracked, and it will still be pirated. Those who want to pirate the game will pirate it regardless of how long you will need to wait. But with Denuvo, you are punishing essentially the people that are playing and buying your games through legitimate means, because you wanna not let the pirates win over here. They win anyways. They're gonna crack the game eventually. It's just gonna take them longer, but they will. Like I said, those who will wanna pirate will pirate. And as over here, the Tekken 7 director says the Denuvo DRM is causing performance issues in the game. And that's coming from the director of Tekken game series. It's like, how much more proof out there you need to have for the Denuvo to be like, yeah, it does impact the games, but all they wanna do is deny that. It's like, it's very interesting to me about this, that they wish to deny the fact that they are impacting the games too much. So let's dive into this article about Denuvo. So it's titled Denuvo plans to offer independent benchmarks in an attempt to prove its DRM doesn't cause performance problems. Steve Huyn, hopefully I say that correctly, Chief Operating Officer of Video Games, said there is no perceptible impact on gameplay because of the way we do things. It's still common for big budget games to launch with Denuvo's anti-tamper, anti-piracy software, and it's also common for those games' performance problems to be blamed on said DRM. Irderto, I guess, the digital security company that bought Denuvo in 2018 and previously tried to force Overwatch not so safe for war content offline, has denied its software is responsible for those issues, most recently in interviews with Ars Technica. Steve, Chief Operating Officer of video games at Irderto, claimed that the comparisons using cracked versions of games that load faster and run more smoothly are inaccurate because they're rarely based on the exact same version of a game. There might be over the lifetime of the game a protected and unprotected version, Huyn said. But these are not comparable because these are different builds over 6 months, many bug fixes, etc., which could make it better or worse. Huyn is aware that simply saying this won't prove anything to the legion of players who blame Denuvo for every framerate drop they experience. Our voice is unfortunately not sufficient to convince people because we're not trusted in their mind as a starting point in that debate, he said. Denuvo has a plan, however, a program that will offer media outlets 2 versions of games to benchmark independently with and without Denuvo anti-tamper, which he believes will prove the performance is comparable, identical between both. Apparently, they hope to begin it within the next few months. Personally, I doubt such a scheme will change anyone's minds, for starters because we already did the exact same thing in 2015, hiring Durante to benchmark Final Fantasy 15 with and without the Denuvo software installed. Durante concluded that DRM had no performance impact on how Final Fantasy 15 ran, though it might have been responsible for increasing load times by a small amount, roughly 6.7%. People on Reddit did not stop blaming Denuvo for every framerate hitch they experience, and nor did they when performance issues in Resident Evil Village were found to be the result of Capcom's own DRM rather than Denuvo's. People have other reasons to be opposed to anti-piracy software than potential starters anyways. For starters, performance isn't the only thing DRM can impact. It might make a game not run at all, as was the case when it was found a whole list of games had DRM that rendered them unplayable on Intel Alder Lake CPUs, or when a Denuvo domain went down for a weekend, leaving games like Guardians of the Galaxy and Persona 4 cold and unable to launch. Then there are philosophical objections. DRM gets in the way of modding games as well as preservation of efforts aimed at making sure all games aren't lost. Right now 5 Capcom games including Street Fighter, Tekken and Lost Planet 2 that are currently unplayable on Steam due to games for Windows Live and have been for over 600 days. No amount of benchmarking is going to prevent players from distrusting anti-piracy software when evidence of its impact like that is right in front of us. Exactly, you have all these points of evidence that are directly saying that Denuvo impacts the performance and is causing issues and so on. So why would you as a consumer support the game with the Denuvo on it and suffer the potential implications of having the Denuvo, like the frame drops and potentially not launching the game and so on? It's like, I'm not for piracy, I'll say that right now, but at this point it's not that they're gonna prevent piracy, it's more like they are gonna boost it. Because playing a legitimate version with Denuvo is gonna be worse than getting a pirated version. I mean, there are risks to getting a pirated version, but in general, you don't have the Denuvo then. You're gonna wait longer, but it's ridiculous. Why would people suffer for buying the product when you can get it for free and it has not have these implications in it? So it's just I don't understand these decisions sometimes, because most of the times the games will run with Denuvo and then they get removed later on anyways. It's like, just like I said at the start of the video, people who are gonna want to pirate the game are gonna wait no matter the amount of time it needs to be for them to get the pirated version, and they're gonna pirate it anyways. The only thing you're doing with this Denuvo protection is making players suffer that do buy your games. But that's it for today, guys. I'll see you next time.